Is it wrong recording a wrestling report for my YouTube channel during Monday Night Raw for June 30th, 2025? Is it wrong for doing that, people? Didn't fucking think so, to say it. Look left and right to my direction. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to an episode of Lucas E. Allen on YouTube for wrestling side things for June 30th, 2025. And this is your Lucas E. Allen Wrestling Report for episode number 2 for, like I said, June 30th, 2025. Lucas, where's the first episode? Well, it's actually technically right now called a No Limits Wrestling Review Report, or No Limits Report to say the least. But then again, I changed around my podcast, and No Limits Lucas is now retired, like I said, to say the least. And now it's Lucas E. Allen on YouTube, all wrestling and pop culture and sports, to say the least. And I'm glad I'm still doing it, to say the least. Welcome back to your YouTube channel, like I said, for Lucas E. Allen Wrestling, to say the least. I'm your host, always, Lucas Allen. Follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram, Lucas E. Allen. Also TikTok, Lucas E. Allen. And Facebook is still technically No Limits to Lucas, so you have to get around the time of doing that and change that around, to say the least. And go, if you're watching on YouTube, the only place to always watch Lucas E. Allen, to say the least, is click the like button to today's video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn the bell for all post notifications. Leave a comment on this very video as well. Let's get into your Lucas E. Allen Wrestling Report, to say the least, for episode number 6. Another freaking voice crack already. Go fucking figure! A little bit of a voice there, to say the least, people. We're going to discuss WWE's Kevin Owens, who provides new details of frustrating neck injury. We'll discuss that. It's a very bad situation there. I hope you guys see Kevin Owens okay. It's just a frustrating for him. It's a bad time causing that. At WrestleMania 41 right before against Randy Orton, it was match supposed to be. Until he had a neck surgery, to say the least, and that fucking sucks big time for Kevin, to say the least. So we wish him the best. We'll discuss him today. Also, backstage news of potential WWE return for Roman Reigns with SummerSlam on the horizon. We'll discuss that. Also, in backstage news regarding online rumor that WWE's Karrion Kross can't take a back bump. I found this report to be some fucking hilarious fucking report, to say the least. This is just a fucking ridiculous fucking report, to say. So I can't believe I have to discuss this on my freaking channel. Fucking ridiculous, to say the least. Also, some backstage update on Chad Gable's recovery and return timeline following his shoulder surgery. Discuss that. Also, speaking of Alpha Academy and past guys, backstage update on recent TV absence of WWE star Otis. Remember, I'm recording this during Monday Night Raw, like I said, 7:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, East Coast of Syracuse, New York. Maybe Otis returns tonight. I don't know. We shall wait and find out. But it aged so fucking well if I recorded this, obviously. And he shows up at Monday Night Raw, so I just hope to God he doesn't, honestly, so I can get this report out. You know me being petty, people, what me say. Also, because Vickie Guerrero could return for WWE Evolution 2, and we'll discuss that. Also, because Elayna Black, a former core Jade in WWE, says her WWE release was like watching her funeral. Oh boy, people. That was a freaking story if I've seen any. And also discussing Nixon Newell, also formerly known as Tegan Knox in WWE, opens up her final days before her WWE release. We're discussing that. Also some backstage news on internal AEW reaction to recent stretch of big TV events. We'll discuss that. Also some Bryan Danielson, a fucking ridiculous fucking return he had. Bryan Danielson returns to the ring in a dark match at AEW Collision taping. Yeah, he returned on fucking Collision. How fucking stupid can that be, sounds? It sounds stupid, I know, but it's what happened, sadly. That's what Tony Khan doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, to say the least. Also, Keith Lee reiterates health and career status amid his long AEW absence. We'll discuss that. Also, some backstage news on MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Mark Briscoe feud. Kicked off on AEW Dynamite last week. Discussed that. Also, Jim Ross, the final part, announces he's cancer-free and says he owes a lot to AEW and Tony Khan. Discussing on-stage report, glad to be guys on stage. Episode number 2 for Lucas Yellen Wrestling Report on YouTube. Starting with, you guessed it, WWE's Kevin Owens provides new details of frustrating neck injury. WWE star Kevin Owens to provide an update on his injury and when he will be likely to have surgery on his neck. Owens had stepped away from ahead of WrestleMania earlier this year due to a neck injury, and his time on the sidelines has been frustrating for the prize fighter, which he talked about on his appearance in Cody Rhodes' What Do You Want to Talk About podcast. Owens revealed that the injury happened in a match in January and that he learned about the seriousness of it in April. It's been frustrating. It's been such a frustrating process, to say the least, he said, and we're kind of trying to let my spinal cord heal as much as we can on its own before we can go on for the surgery, because the extent of how extensive the surgery will be depends on how my spinal cord looks when we go in there. He said the trauma happened in January. Well, probably it was building up, but in January is what made it. You know what really did it? Then we had a nice, easy ladder match where nothing crazy happened at all. And I kept going for a while, and then in the first week of April is when I had an MRI done. And they were like, guess what? You can't even get hit. You don't even get hit because you might die. Oh my fucking God, that sounds awful, bro. That sounds awful for Kevin Owens, at least. Owens confirmed that he will have surgery sometime next month, 4 months after his last WWE match. I believe it was against Cody Rhodes, so there's definitely different conversation there, to say the least. We're waiting until mid-July to do the surgery. Hopefully it's a normal neck fusion. It might not be, we don't know, revealed Owens. Kevin Owens also detailed in the podcast the painful symptoms he has had recently, which he didn't experience earlier. Since then, I felt fine. My neck's been fine. I'm not in pain. I have no really any symptoms of what you would expect somebody with a spinal cord injury to have, said Owens. In the last week, for some reason, the symptoms all came in one shot. Every symptom you had to expect to have: the pain in the neck, the stuff going down, the arms, the legs not really responding. It's all been happening, so it's been pretty brutal. I can't wait for the surgery and then move forward, whatever that looks like, end quote. Owens recounted an incident during a match when his legs went numb, leading him to have believed something was wrong with his body. Doctors initially suspected another part of the body as a source of the problem, but tests eventually confirmed that the issue stemmed from his neck. So we had 2 incidents where basically in the ring, my legs kind of fell asleep. And I was like, there's something wrong. We thought it was the one thing, which is why we didn't go right away for the neck, because it wasn't consistent with a neck injury. Looked at everything else, and we figured out it's not that. Let's take a look at the neck. And then it was that. That sucks. That definitely sucks for Kevin, to say the least. Rhodes confirmed that he too felt that Owens had some issue during their match at Royal Rumble in that ladder match for the Undisputed WWE Championship, and believed for winning the championship as well, to say the least, as he sensed that his legs weren't working as they usually do. I wish Kevin Owens nothing but the best. That definitely sucks for him. I definitely want to wish him the best this lovely evening, this Monday evening, to say the least. Hope to see him hopefully back sooner rather than later, because that fucking sucks. I mean, it's obviously priority number 1 for them to get healthy and everything else. So we end this YouTube channel. Wish Kevin Owens nothing but the best, to say the least. Moving on, backstage news on potential WWE return for Roman Reigns, with SummerSlam on the horizon. Since April, Roman Reigns has been absent from WWE television, last appearing on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 41, when he confronted Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. It's not unusual for the original Tribal Chief, the OTC, to go on hiatus following WWE's biggest show of the year, and it's become expect that the former undisputed WWE champion He'll be away from the ring for most of the spring. That said, on Thursday afternoon, an update was provided on Reigns' return status, where rumors began to circulate as the biggest party of the summer approaches. According to WrestleVote, SummerSlam is a possible destination for Reigns to re-emerge, as multiple sources have confirmed that he's been discussed internally over the last few weeks. Now, I heard he recently recorded a movie. I think it was a video game movie or something like that, at least a video game to say the least. I heard he recorded another movie to say the least as well. So could he miss SummerSlam? There's a possibility for that, but then again, if you're going to have Roman Reigns back and you have an Indeed in there, you might as well have him return like last year's SummerSlam, attacking Solo Sikoa. You might as well maybe cost Seth Rollins at SummerSlam with a Money in the Bank contract. That's where I think this is going to go. I feel like Seth Rollins is going to get cost by Roman Reigns. That Money in the Bank contract and get screwed over by the OTC, Original Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. But then again, that's like another stupid situation. You did basically the same thing last year with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. That's going to be stupid then. Does Rollins indeed successfully cash in and Reigns comes out after? I don't fucking know what it'll do. But that's what I think. Roman Reigns is going to come back to fight against Seth Rollins. Because the last time we seen him, he was getting brutally attacked by a Braun Breaker who was aligning himself with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, the Raw after WrestleMania. So we'll always wait to be seeing whether we see Roman Reigns back on WWE television, or before SummerSlam or at SummerSlam. Waiting to find out then for sure. Keep an update on that for sure, to say the least. Before we get back to Lucas E. Allen Wrestling Report for episode number 2, so I want to give a little bit of promotion here. Go subscribe to my second YouTube channel, Lucas E. Allen Sports. On YouTube, obviously, we're going to discuss, but hopefully, I would still want to discuss the NBA draft from 2025 and stuff around that, to say the least. I also want to discuss more sports news, maybe some also sports talk, to say at least. A lot of trades in the NFL today with Jalen Ramsey going to the Pittsburgh Steelers from Minka Fitzpatrick from the Steelers, to say the least. So go follow them and subscribe to my second YouTube channel, Lucas E. Allen Sports, to say the least. Now let's get you back to the Lucas E. Allen Wrestling Report for episode number 2. Moving on, the backstage news regarding an online rumor that WWE's Karrion Kross can't take a bump. My back bump, to say the least. This report is just umpteen stupid, to say the least. But we're going to discuss it right now. Where you unimitated wrestling ring canvases might seem like a fine enough surface to land, considering how many bumps performers take on it. But isn't the case. A wrestling ring is made for steel beams, planks of wood, and sheet canvas to cover a layer of thin foam padding, far from the trampoline-esque that some might suspect at the first glance. Even some wrestlers aren't entirely happy with taking bumps on a regular basis, given how stiff some wrestling rings can be. Take WWE superstar Karrion Kross, for example, someone who a number of fans on social media claimed that he can't take a back bump, or in some people's opinions won't. As expected, this is simply something that had picked up steam online by a small group of people, like I said, with some stupid proud people online and unnecessary dumbasses, to say the least. With Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select have confirmed to him that no one in WWE has ever had issues with Kross regarding his bumps, and that the producers who helped put together his matches have never encountered any issues with him. So shut the fuck up, online fucking dumbass idiots, to say the least. There's always a reason I call the IWC. I don't call it the Internet Wrestling Community like some people do. I call it the Idiot Wrestling Community. You get what I see what I did there, people, to say the least? This is some bogus, some stupid fucking news piece I didn't want to share about until I just wanted to share about it, but still, you get the point. This is some stupid fucking report, and you don't want to talk about this anymore. I already did. A backstage update on Chad Gable's recovery and return timeline following his shoulder surgery and death. Chad Gable was written off TV with an angle on Monday Night Raw last week, with news soon emerging that Gable was dealing with a shoulder injury. The wrestler had reportedly been banged up for some time and is scheduled to undergo surgery in the near future. According to Fightful Select, Gable is expected to be out of action through most of this year, if not into 2026. That just sounds freaking awful for Chad Gable. And by the way, right before I went on with this year of the podcast, I heard Ludwig Kaiser came out as El Grande Americano. I'm still yet to find out what the actual stuff it is. I'm involved. I don't know if he took off the mask or something like that, to say the least. You got his mask taken off. Oh my god, that's just fucking hilarious, to say the least. Ludwig Kaiser as El Grande Americano for the time being. Oh boy, man. It's just fucking hilarious, to say the least. Well, we indeed, and then just going back to this segment on the report, we definitely wish Chad Gable nothing but the best. That sucks to have him shoulder surgeries. He's one of the best professional wrestlers on the goddamn earth. Hope to see him back sooner around later. Maybe probably looking like in 2026. Maybe see him in the Royal Rumble in 2026, I would think so. In Saudi Arabia, we'll still wait and find out we see Chad Gable back. Keep on updating for sure. Moving on, a backstage update on recent TV absence of WWE star Otis. On the May 5th episode of Monday Night Raw, Otis was beaten in convincingly fashion by Rusev and has not been seen since. He was still a regular face on Monday Night Raw, Monday night, as well as appearing on episodes of WWE Main Event with his Alpha Academy teammate Akira Tozawa. But given that it has been nearly 2 months since Otis wrestled for WWE, many have wondered where he is at. The answer is sadly he is on the injured list of his strong wrestler at Fightful Select. Has reported that Otis is set to undergo elbow surgery in the form of a actual spot kick. I don't know how to say this freaking name, to say the least. Actual spot kick. I don't know what to fucking say. Whatever, bro. To see what the problem is, WrestleVotes has recently reported that Otis was off the active roster due to the injury. Something Fightful has been able to confirm, but the procedure isn't expected to keep Otis out of action for long. As some originally thought, however, on every road to recovery, there are going to be some stumbling blocks, something Otis and people are close to him are aware of, to say the least. Definitely wish Otis nothing but the best. Hope to see him back on Monday Night Raw. It's just, what is Alpha Academy doing on Monday Night Raw? I heard him right before I went on the air of his podcast, or his report, to say the least. I heard that the Judgment Days, Finn Balor and JD McDonough won back to WWE Raw Tag Team titles for a New Day. Now, the New Day's heel turn has been botched to the umpteenth degree. It is fucking sad what happened to that. But to put the titles back on the Judgment Day for what, dude? What is the end goal to WWE World Tag Team titles? Like the titles are cursed. No matter what tag team they go. They first were put on our Awesome Truth. Forget about that. That was awful. Then they had them put on the Judgment Day, Balor, McDonough. And then they dropped them to War Raiders, which was another freaking awful reign. Those first 3 title reigns were awful. And they put them on the, I believe, on New Day then. Don't forgive me, that didn't start with that reign. Now we're back on the Judgment Day. What's next after this? What are we going to do next? The World Tag Team titles are not done already. Merge the tag team divisions. To say the least, I don't care what anybody says. There's no need for 2 sets of Raw and SmackDown tag team titles. Just have a unification match of the Judgment Days, Finn Balor and JD McDonough, and the Street Profits, and call it a fucking day. Come on, people. Get it out of your thick skull. 2 tag team titles. And WWE don't mean a lick of a fucking difference. There's no freaking death in this division, to say the least. Moving on. Vickie Guerrero could return for WWE Evolution 2. Oh, fucking joy with Excuse me! Excuse me! Oh my fucking god, bro. Vickie Guerrero is back on our television. This is still a report, don't get me wrong. But my god, man, that'll be fucking awful. WWE fans might see a familiar face return to the screens very soon. According to a new report from Fightful Select, former WWE personality, I don't know if you want to say it that specific, but it is what it is. Vickie Guerrero has been telling people that she will be back in WWE in a few weeks for some special appearances, obviously for Evolution 2. They're fucking great, bro. Lovely. Excuse me! Excuse me! Oh my fucking god, bro. God rest our souls. Now, don't get it twisted. I know she's not going to wrestle. Don't get it twisted. I know she's not going to wrestle. But just hearing that fucking high-pitched, excuse me voice is fucking cringe, bro. I'm sorry. I just can't stand that. No offense to Vickie. It's obviously to do with the Guerrero family. I get it. We love Eddie Guerrero, but and you know, like Vickie Guerrero to a point. But my God, bro. What is the difference and why should we want this in any specific way for wrestling fans? It's probably a one-off, probably. Oh my God, bro. Who is asking for us? I don't know what else to fucking tell you, to say the least. Before we get back to the wrestling report for episode number 2 for Lucas E. Allen, I wanted to give it a little bit of a different promotion here as well. Go follow my third YouTube channel, Lucas E. Allen Music. Where it's just all things pop culture, entertainment, and all things like that, and I'll say the least. If you don't want to subscribe to that, it's all about me. It's up to you, to say the least. Go subscribe if you are interested. Lucas E. Allen Music, discuss all things pop culture, music, to say the least. Entertainment as well, to say the least as well. So go subscribe to that, Lucas E. Allen Music. Now let's get you back to the report. Move on. So Elayna Black says her WWE release was like watching her funeral. But this is the former Cora Jade, to say the least. Elayna Black, known to WWE fans as Cora Jade, is dealing with her release from the company earlier this year. The former NXT star sat down with Chris Van Vliet on Insight, one of my favorite podcasts in all of wrestling, to say the least, to work through her feelings about her release. I feel like there are things that I didn't get to do, but like you said, that was my dream, she said, knowing that she looked back at old notebooks from her childhood to remind her of her dreams. Get an action figure, have merchandise, wrestle this person. I was crossing off so many of those things. Really, the only thing I didn't cross off was wrestling at WrestleMania or winning a championship. Obviously, there were things that were disappointing, but never will I shit on WWE or trash WWE. I love my time there. Her sudden release from WWE gave Black a taste of how Tom Sawyer, I think that's how you say it, felt in Mark Twain's 1876 novel of the Adventures of Tom Sawyer. He felt it's almost like watching my own funeral while still being alive. It was like the weirdest thing. Black said, saying that influx of opinions boiled her over. It was very overwhelming. That definitely sucks hearing that from Elayna Black / Cora Jade. Nah, I'm not sure what she's doing right now. I think she's still on the independent scene, to say the least. To me, that was not as shocked as some people for her release. Is she very good? I would think she's very good. If she had injuries in the past that haunted her WWE push, I would think so, honestly. I wish her the best, man. She's very green with this grass still in the wrestling ring. But she has a lot of charisma to her. She's obviously a gorgeous woman, to say the least. I feel like she's underrated promo ability. And I think teenagers will swipe her up really good. Maybe even AEW to a point. I heard she's rumors about her going to AEW. Now, what do you think? Oh, but she's just going to get squashed by Mercedes Hogan, Mercedes Monday. Watch people say that shit. Ridiculous. Some fucking internet wrestling trolls, to say the least. The idiot wrestling community. But I'm not making any more thinking about Mercedes in this podcast, so I'm just done with that. But to say the least, I wish Elayna Black nothing but the best in her post-debut run and everything. She should be interesting. It sucks that she had the release and it felt like a funeral boiled in over her and being overwhelmed like that. I know a thing or two about getting overwhelmed to a point and getting a lot of stress and anxiety. It sucks, to say the least, when you're your dream job, being a WWE Road Wrestling Entertainment, to say the least. So I wish her the best, wish her nothing but the best. She's one of my favorites in NXT when she was there. Wish her the best for sure, man. Keep it up there on Elayna Black. She does post being still going forward, to say the least. Moving on. Nixon Newell opens up her final days before her WWE release. Nixon Newell, previously known as Tegan Knox in WWE, had 2 runs with the company, with her last coming to an end last November. The wrestler recently appeared on the Stardom cast where it was discussed her outlook to her second time around in WWE. Newell approached the job with a more professional attitude, viewing it as a business and not taking anything personally. When she was let go, it didn't come as a great surprise, as she been making a pitch after pitch without anything getting through, to say the least. I knew that it was coming when an idea that I pitched to be a football hooligan as a gimmick. Oh boy, I don't know about that, bro. Nixon, Tegan, what the fuck? A football hooligan as a gimmick? I don't know about that. I don't know if I even want to know about that, to say the least. Got through all the talking stages, got through the pitching stages, got to higher ups, was scheduled to film and stuff. And then 2 days before it got canceled, Newell said, I went, something's happened, and I think I'm going. End quote. Around that point, Newell was moved from wrestling in regular matches on WWE main events to dark matches before or after TV taping. She recalled putting on some excellent performances alongside Blair Davenport, also known as Bea Priestley, impressing the likes of Molly Holly and William Regal. Despite that, Newell was let go in November of 2024. I'm just still wondering what the fuck is this football hooligan as a gimmick? I don't know if that even I want to know about that, to say the least. But in all seriousness, Tegan Knox is a very great professional wrestler. The problem with her is she can't stay healthy. That's why I have a thing with Dakota Kai. One of my favorites on professional wrestling is Miss Dakota Kai. The only difference between Dakota and Tegan, to my perspective, is Dakota is one of the best in the world, I feel. Tegan is still very great at what she does as a wrestler. But even Dakota, she has very underrated promo ability and very decent charisma. Where Tegan, I felt, didn't have that. Is that am I insulting Tegan Knox? Absolutely not. Well, I wish her the best, nothing but in the future, to say the least. But this is a football hooligan gimmick. I don't know what the fuck I want to think about that, to say the least. To wrap up this segment on your Lucas Young Wrestling Report. Moving on to backstage news on internal AEW reaction to recent stretch of big TV events. The road to All Elite Wrestling's biggest event in North American soil has recently been an eventful one. How about that, dude? The road built to All in Texas has been a freaking dumpster fire, minus a select few things. And even select few things that's mentioned, even those have some very questionable decisions, to say the least. Event 1 still has some major stops left to go since Double or Nothing on May 25th. AEW has held a pair of 4-hour TV specials. Please don't the fuck remind me. Fighter Fest and Summer Blockbuster, like I said, don't remind me. They've been Travel Arena Mexico for Grand Slam Mexico edition of AEW Dynamite. And we are just days away from Dynamite celebrating its landmark 300th episode, while AEW Collision will celebrate its 100th episode in that same week. Like, we the fuck care about AEW Collision, bro, to say the least. Even before these shows, it seemed that the vibe surrounding AEW was one major positivity. That's all it is, positivity in AEW, because they can't take destructive fucking criticism, to say the least. And that the company was in much of a better place than it was a year or two ago. Really, a year or two ago? Are you fucking serious? That's hilarious, man. I wonder what idiot paid for this comment. That has been all but been confirmed by Sean Rossap of Fightful Select, who has reported that some have been a number of very positive reactions, like I said, sadly, from behind the scenes in AEW, and that the atmosphere is as good as it's always been in a long time. Like, yeah, sure, bro. The roster is barely getting fucking used. The roster you have right now, you're freaking like, oh, it's nothing but positive stuff backstage. Well, you're probably wrong anyways. Sources know that Fightful that the stretch of the shows leading up to All in Texas was seen as one of the company's most important runs of shows a year ever, given that they needed to be a special and their own right. Sure, bro. While also building towards the big event on July 12th, and that is something people in AEW think has worked like a charm. Yeah, sure, bro. That's fucking hilarious. All these shows were nothing but banger matches, and I don't even fucking know lick of a difference of a story. The fuck you mean like that? I can't stand this positivity bullshit. Everything is awesome in All Elite Wrestling. It's fucking nauseating. Same thing with WWE as well. Everything is awesome. We can't do nothing wrong. Meanwhile, the wrestling's an all-time low since Vince McMahon has departed from WWE Creative. Yeah, I fucking said it. AEW is not doing great, near is WWE. Wrestling, since Vince McMahon left, has been an all-time low. Minus from before Vince McMahon was in creative. The fuck is wrong with you people in AEW Creative? And people like Tony Khan, showing the product, like people like Yahoo and everybody else, to say the least. It's fucking nauseating, to say the least. It really is fucking nauseating, to say the least, to wrap up this segment. Before we get back to your Lucas Sion Wrestling Report for episode number 2, I want to take a little bit of break. And please to let you know, follow me on Twitter, Lucas Sion, and discuss all things like the wrestling news, wrestling talk, any sports news, any sports talk, any pop culture / music / entertainment, sport talk in general, and news to say the least. So go follow me on Twitter, Lucas Sion, to say the least. I also upload all my skits or on my social media content, to say the least as well. So go follow my Twitter, Lucas Sion, to say the least. So let's get back to the Lucas Sion Wrestling Report for episode number 2. Moving on to a ridiculous story. I don't even want to fucking discuss this. This is some stupidity in All Elite Wrestling. Bryan Danielson returns to the ring in a dark match at AEW Collision taping. AEW's Bryan Danielson made a surprise return to the promotion after last week's AEW Grand Slam Mexico, appearing on an ROH taping. Not even AEW Collision. A fucking Ring of Honor taping. How stupid is that? And he was featured once again at AEW's Collision taping. Last week's appearance came after Grand Slam Mexico went off the air when he came out to assist Blue Panther. Blue fucking Panther. Unbelievable, bro. This company is fucking... Yeah, people want to say, oh, it's nothing but positivity, not great shit backstage, bro. Bullshit. Shane Taylor Promotions were attacking at the Collision taping in his home state of Washington. Danielson had once again appeared after the show ended, answering Max Caster's open challenge. Bryan Danielson's first match back since getting destroyed by Jon Moxley and the Death Riders at Wrestle Dream in 2024. To fucking wrestle Max fucking Caster. If you don't know that people will be so pissed off about someone else to fucking tell you, Tony Khan. Open challenge and making the former Acclaimed member tap out to LeBell Lock in a matter of seconds, according to PW Insider. Danielson told the crowd in attendance that he would be a part of the Paragon group for just one day. Called himself Kyle Danielson. Kyle fucking Danielson, people. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? That is beyond fucking funny. Kyle Danielson. Just like the Adam Cole me named Cope! The flying fuck has happened to this company. And yet, you people have said, oh, it's not but positivity stuff in AEW. I call fucking bullshit. Danielson's final countdown theme song then played and he sent home fans home happy. Unfucking believable. Kyle Danielson. That is fucking hilarious, bro. Even if he returns it all in Texas, what's the point now? What is the point? He returned at fucking AEW Collision / Ring of Honor taping. That is fucking ridiculous, bro. And that is awful business stuff from Tony Khan. That is awful business work from Tony Khan. Oh, but AEW is not about business. They're about making the best wrestle. And that's my fucking problem. You need to make shit make sense. That and shit I saw on social media, I saw that clip where Danielson returned, was not fucking good shit and not good business whatsoever from Tony Khan. It's not even the best wrestle. They made Max Caster tap out in seconds. How is that the best wrestle? I don't get it, bro. What am I missing people don't see? Unbelievable. This is fucking ridiculous, dude. How the fuck can you defend Tony Khan on this? If Danielson wants this, well, that's my other thing. If Danielson won this, why are we going by what Danielson wants? That's my problem with AEW, people. This is my fucking problem with it, too. It's fucking ridiculous. The company is ran by fucking little children, to say the least. Like CM Punk said, I work with fucking little children. That's what he said before he left AEW. Yes, it's fucking stupid if you ask me, to wrap up this segment. Moving on. Keith Lee reiterates health and career status amid his long AEW absence. AEW star Keith Lee hasn't wrestled a match since December 2023, with his AEW World's End bout against Swerve Strickland canceled due to health concerns. According to a series of posts on X, or known as Twitter, Lee is healthy and could be ready to return to the ring. I am quite fine, Lee wrote to a fan. It is not up to me when it comes to return, but blessings to you as well, end quote. It's worth knowing that Lee did not overly confirm whether or not he's cleared to wrestle. When another social media user responded to suggested starting a fan campaign to get Lee booked in AEW, the wrestler gently pushed back on the idea. According to Lee, there is no need for fans to put pressure on Tony Khan, as everything will turn out the way it's supposed to do, or it's supposed to be. Eventually, the purpose will show itself, Lee stated. I wish Keith Lee nothing but the best. Yes, to me, Keith Lee is one of those guys in professional wrestling where what could have been. And that's kind of honestly sad. Because Keith Lee is fucking great. And when he's healthy, Keith Lee is fucking great. He's like the guy you see at his size, Keith Lee, that most big men should not do as a cruiserweight. Keith Lee wrestles like a fucking cruiserweight for his size, which is freaking insane. So definitely wish Keith Lee nothing but the best. But in all honesty, I think it's time for him to call it quits in wrestling. Do I force him to say that? No, I don't. It's up to him and everything. But Keith Lee and his health stuff that he has been recently, it's quite insane. The amount of stuff he's been through with like the things that me and his wife said about him not having great health, to say the least. But I wish him nothing but the best. Keith Lee, he is freaking great at what he does as a wrestler. I hope to see him back, to say the least, but man, I don't know, man. He just seems like one of what could have been in wrestling if he stayed healthy. Even that bad booking too of Vince McMahon and even Tony Khan in AEW. What could have been for Keith Lee, to say the least, man. If we will hope to see him back, but I don't think he's gonna be as the same he was looking back in like what? The couple years in 2020, there was nothing like NXT Black and Gold Keith Lee. That man was just freaking great. As a double champion for the NXT World Champion and North American Champion, Keith Lee was just one of a kind, bro. I do wish him the best. If he comes back to wrestling, that's on him, and see if he continues wrestling in AEW, maybe comes back to W eventually as Triple H. We shall wait and find out the set. Let's keep an update on Keith Lee, what he does in AEW, and all in his return to professional wrestling, to say the least. Moving on, the backstage news on MJF versus Mark Briscoe feud kicked off on AEW Dynamite this last week. During last week's AEW Dynamite, MJF alongside the Hurt Syndicate addressed the crowd and announced his qualifying bout for the Casino Gauntlet match at All In Texas and AEW All In Texas. Friedman claimed that he is the rightful holder of the AEW World Championship, dismissing both reigning champion Jon Moxley and All In challenger Hangman Adam Page. But things took a turn when he was interrupted by Mark Briscoe, who came out to tell MJF to hurry up so Briscoe's own qualifying match could start, and also to throw out a few insults at the salt of the earth. Naturally, this segment set up a feud between the two, something MJF has reportedly been strongly wanted. According to a brief report from Fightful Select, Friedman has been pushing hard to feud with Briscoe for a long time. At the time of their segment, the two men had never gotten into the same ring together, making Briscoe another veteran that Friedman likely wants to add another to his resume. Additionally, Briscoe, together with his late brother Jay Briscoe, brought Karrion the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships and set to records by capturing the belt 13 times and holding it for a combined 1,486 days as well. Now, Mark Briscoe means that blue-collar babyface, an underdog-type babyface. MJF, the constant prick heel that he is, should be built up for a very decent undercard feel for All in Texas. A major voice crack, go figure. I honestly wouldn't mind a match with Mark Briscoe and MJF for All in Texas. It might be a hot take to some people, but MJF and Mark Briscoe would have a kick-ass match for sure. And Mark Briscoe, like I said, is that underdog babyface ever since his loss. I'm going to say he's the type of guy that you want, like an undercard babyface. After like his brother Jay Briscoe passed away in a tragic car accident, we wish him rest in peace, Jay Briscoe, obviously. But in all honesty, MJF and Mark Briscoe can have a kick-ass match at All in Texas. Even the feud around it could be something special, to say the least. Keep an update on this. But do I trust AEW and its management to book this type of feud correctly? Fuck no, I definitely don't. We shall wait and find out what MJF and Mark Briscoe do in this feud together. Keep an update on this, as lo and behold, as AEW rebuilds to All in Texas, sooner rather than later, probably starting. Hopefully, it's sooner rather than this league, other than the top matches, to say the least, man. Before we get into your final segment on Lucas Young Wrestling Report for episode number 2, just want to promote my Instagram, instagram.com/LucasYallen. Discuss all my social media. Post to say at least all my skits and all my news topics, pre-and predictions, or any PLE or AEW PLE or AEW PLE or pay-per-view, name it. And I also get like a little special, like a quote of the day, to say at least on there. I usually do the challenge on my podcast episodes, but now I'm doing it obviously for Instagram. And so like I said, Instagram.com/LucasYallen. Keep it updating, like more like quotes I do about throughout the week and everything else. So like I said, go follow my Instagram, Instagram.com/LucasYallen. Let's get into your final part of Lucas Young Wrestling Report for episode number 2. And finally, everyone, Jim Ross announces he's cancer-free and says he owes a lot to AEW and Tony Khan. Absolutely love hearing this, by the way. Great news for Jim Ross. For most of Jim Ross's AEW tenure, he unfortunately had to deal with health problems, including a skin cancer scare. It was a couple years ago. 2025 has been no different, as Ross revealed. Recently, he was diagnosed with colon cancer, forcing him to under the knife to have cancer removed. The cancer removed, to say at least, and putting his status in AEW as they head into All in Texas next month into question. As such, it will come as relief to many fans that Ross had some good news to share towards the end of his Growing JR podcast earlier this week, or last week to say at least. The cancer is gone, which I'm very happy to say, Ross said. So I'm blessed that my health has returned, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm good. It's great to hear from Jim Ross, to say the least. Ross reiterated that his goal was to be in Texas for All In, and seemed confident that he would be able to make the event. The Hall of Fame announcer showed that further the gratitude towards AEW, in particular, Christian fellow announcer Tony Schiavone and AEW owner Tony Khan, for reaching out to him during his ordeal, and for making sure he's been taken care of since his first sign with the promotion. I'm very indebted to AEW for hiring me, bringing me on the board, Ross said. And Tony Khan has been amazingly wonderful during my illness. He supported me wholeheartedly, and I really do appreciate that. That's the way a boss should act and should do. Which, I'll be honest, Tony Khan loves is great for a legends part of professional wrestling. I'll be honest, I give credit to Tony Khan. He knows how to treat his legends greatly, to say the least. And I really do appreciate that. That's what the boss should do, and act like he just said that, is to take care of people. And Tony Khan has surely taken care of me, and I plan on being reptical and doing my best to take care of him and my role going forward, in quotes. It's absolutely freaking great to see Jim Ross in good spirits, and he's obviously cancer-free. That's absolutely freaking great to hear, to say the least. A shout out to Jim Ross, one of the all-time great announcers in WWE and professional wrestling in general, and AEW still too. I hope to see him back in AEW. Like I said, probably all in Texas. I don't think he needs to be there. I don't think he needs to be there in all honesty. He having to focus on his health, to say the least. But if he wants to be there, he wants to be there. I'm not going to do that anything for JR. One of the all-time greatest announcers of all time is JR, Jim Ross. So shout out to him, and hope it's great to see him in good spirits, and I'm grateful to hear that he's in good health and conditions right now, to say the least. So shout out to Jim Ross for sure, to say the least. This No Limits Report, this Lucas E. Allen Wrestling Report, episode number 2 for June 30th, 2025. And thank y'all for watching. Lucas E. Allen on YouTube or wrestling for your Lucas E. Allen Wrestling Report for episode number 2, which will be on June 30th, 2025. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, knock on wood. First time I've done this freaking podcast today. With your Monday Night Raw, June 30th, 2025 review. Tomorrow will be the first day of July. To say the least, it's good to the month of July, to start the 4th of July weekend. Happen on Friday. And discuss Monday Night Raw for your June 30th, 2025 review, to say the least, for tomorrow. And also, your Lucas E. Allen Wrestling Report episode number 3 will be out tomorrow as well for July 1st of 2025 as well. So that is all I got for you today, people. I'm out. Peace, love, everybody. Take care, everyone. Love you all big time, to say the least.